McDermott. I am the Executive Director of Orange Island Arts Foundation, based here in South Florida, predominantly in Broward County. However, we do so much in all over South Florida and abroad. So I'd like to welcome you today to our second issue release party of the Orange Island Review. And I believe this middle section is most of our contributors in the book. So please give our readers for today a big round of applause. So the whole premise of Orange Island Arts Foundation is to cultivate community through the written word. And as you'll see from the reading today, we're doing that, reaching into schools in the local area as well as abroad in order to promote the community and promote the importance of writing and literacy with our youth. Big thanks to Matt Peters, who is our photographer as well. He is he runs Beating Windward Press, who has been so wonderful and to volunteer his time, energy, and resources in order to help us produce this book, based out of Orlando. And after this reading, if you go over to the Swamp, we're featuring Orange Island is featuring Sunday Salon South Florida, which will feature 3 of his authors who have published this year. So you can kind of go from the youth to the grown-ups with Beating Windward, one right after the other. So without further ado, I want to introduce the editor-in-chief of the Orange Island Review, which is Caridad Mora. And I'll turn it over to her, and she'll tell you a lot more about what this project entails. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Joanne Yarrow. I'm the director of Teatro Prometeo and here part of the Miami Book Fair. And I want to thank you all for coming to this book fair, braving the storm, braving the rain. This is such an exciting time. And thank you, Caridad, for being here. I think this is going to be a fantastic book fair this year, despite all the weather. You know, it just shows how resilient Miamians are, that they come and they love books, and we're still here supporting each other today. So thank you all for being here today. I hope you catch the ends of some last-minute things that we have going. And this is the best time to come because all the books start going for $1, $2, and all of that fun stuff. But without further ado, I will introduce Caridad. I will now, 2 versions, we're going to introduce Caridad Mora. And again, thank you so much for being here. Caridad.
Okay, I'm going to be very brief. Thank you all for coming. And I do want to say to our readers, as editor-in-chief, I merely overlooked the process of your work being selected. The students in my dual enrollment creative class were the editors who worked on culling through the work, the design, the editing, and what popped for them, what spoke to them, and you all spoke to them. And I thank you. I thank you for your courage. I thank you for your vision. I thank you for being here. And I encourage you to keep writing and keep the process going. And may this be the first of many, many visits to the Miami Book Fair. So now I do want to say that your books, they're almost sold out, which is a great thing, but there are more available through the press. I will send you all a link about that. And we also have some of the first issue that we put out last spring. And the 3rd issue will also be out this spring, so I'll let you know when the call for work for that goes up as well. Okay, so now with no further ado, we're going to start with Ms. Naomi Jean-Pierre, and have a great reading.
Hi, my name is Naomi Jean-Pierre, and I'll be reciting my poem entitled Encounter. Time fell asleep in the afternoon sun when we met. Crisp autumn leaves speckled the serpentine trail as the breeze blew them away in crimson flurries. Tips of trees were tinged scarlet by the evening sun, while I laid on a nearby bench, lost in my labyrinthine mind. Wicker basket in hand, you asked for the closest apple orchard, pulling me from my stupor. A wan smile later, you strolled down the snaky path as the basket went thump, thump, thump against your thigh. Thank you. Testing, does this work? Hi, my name is Emily Garraway, and this is my poem, Chaos and Rhythm. Chaos and Rhythm. I watch them from my assigned seat, next to the overly decorated wall and the windows that reek of dust. Directly across from me, the class dances to the tune of chaos, countless paper airplanes and voices fighting for attention. In the front of the room, an elderly lady with a brown dinning forest atop her head stands with a red pen clenched in her hand. Her long skirt trails behind her as she stomps down the disgruntled ballroom floor, confiscating my peers' music devices one by one. She wants us to perform the traditional waltzes when all they'll do is make up their own tango. Her eyes widen as they invent individual dances, each crazier than the last. The teacher finally relents and turns away, sighing defeat. She looks at me with a pleading expression, silently asking me to lead them the way they should. Instead, I smile sadly and shake my head. Unlike them, I never really was one for dancing. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Peter Rawlik, and this microphone is a little low, so I'm going to change that there. All right, I'll be performing my poem, An Average Day Ahead. Mr. Linus had quite the average day ahead of him. He rose out of bed happy and refreshed, dressed himself in his favorite outfit, and started his walk down to the flower shop. There, he bought a dozen tulips and complimented the cashier on her eyes. She told him that she had been receiving that a lot lately. She also remarked that that outfit he was wearing was becoming quite the fashion trend. She had seen many others wearing it before. He nodded and continued about his day. For lunch, Mr. Linus stopped at a spoken-word cafe. He had been working on poetry as a hobby for a while now and thought he might give it a go. When he finished, another poet approached him. She commented that his style reminded her of another fellow who spoke just the day before. He nodded and continued about his day. After dinner, Mr. Linus strolled to the nearest park. He found a cozy bench, pulled out a bag of birdseed, and began feeding the pigeons. A woman sat behind him and asked him if this was his first time feeding birds. He nodded, and she said that the birds were treating him just as if he were a regular. Mr. Linus, having run out of birdseed, stood up and decided to call it a night. When he got home, he went upstairs to his room. He removed the false wall in his closet and stepped into the hidden meat locker. There, he removed his clothing and listened to the moist suction as he peeled the Linus suit off his body and hung it up with the others. It was at this moment that he had to make the most important decision of the day. Who would he wear tomorrow? Mr. Shepherd had quite the average day ahead of him. He rose out of bed, dressed himself in his favorite outfit, and started his walk down to the flower shop. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Juliana Torres, and I'm nervous. Sub-Zero. Glacial hands cut through the warmth of my skin to take hold of my heart. With each ever-present beat comes the reminder that who I am is not my own, but yours. I do not long for freedom, as the feeling was left frozen in the stretch of time. And I am unhappy with what I have, only momentarily comforted with the knowledge that what I want lies in the past. So the next time your ice spreads through my veins, I will light a match. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Cassio, and I'm going to read to you Dust Storm. The screams of mothers dilute the laughter of children as sands jump into pockets and mix with the dandruff in their hair. Shutter windows clap shut, like thousands of glass jars, trying to keep safe wandering butterflies. My lungs quickly fill with grit and ash, and coughing feels like stones tumbling through a rolling bingo spinner. You can see it in the distance, a puff of earth-eating clouds slowly gnawing at the light of the horizon. The storm rolls in like a flood of fire, heavy, suffocating, hot enough to crack glass. The jars shatter, and it's impossible for all the butterflies to come out unharmed.
Hello, I'm Chelsea Smith. My title is called Oh, How I Miss Her. Her fingers crawl down my spine, ticking each vertebrae until I'm paralyzed. Her lips brush along mine until I can't breathe anymore. Her smooth skin across my chest, hair tangled in grass and leaves, thorns and trees. She pulls me down into an ocean. I can't breathe in the sea. I can't see anymore when she's not here. Her smile, her teeth glowing in the dark. She leaves me dried out, claw marks on my back, a stab wound in my back, abandoning scars I can't feel anymore. I need to feel her more, but I left her. Crying, 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 lying on the concrete, she has turned to stone, teetering on the edge of loneliness and solitude, and I stepped back. My arms couldn't reach her. I was paralyzed. I couldn't breathe, and now she's gone. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mariana Pesquera, and I'll be reading A Shameful History. He has a history of federal crimes. He's already hurt you 3 times. I'm telling you, stay away. What makes you so different anyway? His records show violence, rape, and murder. His patience seems to be getting shorter. He's shamelessly killed before. How many times has he hit you? 4? I'm telling you, stay away. What makes you so different anyway? I've lost count of the times he's hit you. It doesn't matter now. It seems like your time is up. I was wondering what it's like seeing death so close up. I told you to stay away. You weren't so different anyway.
Okay. It's okay. I'll be reading a pen tomb titled The Slaughterhouse. And you were forced to sit naked in the corner of your undone bed. You think about the way the butcher plucked your ribs and fed them to his own mind. You always felt sick at the thought of the slaughterhouse. You think about the way the butcher hung you next to the cow so he could add you to the bloodbath. You always felt sick at the thought of the slaughterhouse. Your sheets were never virgin after his unwelcome visits. He hung you next to the cow so he could add you to the bloodbath, plucked your ribs and fed them to his own mind. Your sheets were never virgin after his unwelcome visits, and you were forced to sit naked in the corner of your undone bed.
Hi, I'm Alexander Plansky, and I will be reading my poem, Voyage of the Endeavor. 100 feet long and 20 feet wide, the light gleaming off of each of its sides, the sail yacht Endeavor set its course, using the wind to move it like a galloping horse. Captain Rob Monroe took the ship's helm, just as the waves began to overwhelm. The 7-person crew did not know what to do. Overhead, away the birds flew. Thunder roared and lightning crackled, and soon the whole ship started to rattle. Captain Monroe seemed not to care. A storm this large seemed not to be rare. One crewman went overboard from the waves. That was one person that they could not save. 6 left, and still the captain remained calm. Everyone hoped that he was not wrong. The swells grew stronger and stronger. The night seemed to get longer and longer. The ship rocked back and forth. They were apparently heading north. A massive wave hit and the ship rolled, plunging the crew into water that was cold. The yacht was completely upside down, and most of the crew and cargo began to drown. 2 survivors washed ashore. Nowhere to be found were the other 4. The captain, the cook, lookout, and the first mate were now possibly shark bait. What had happened to them the survivors had not known, for the ocean had claimed the Endeavor as its own.
Hi. Hi, my name's Lisette, and I'm going to be reading my poem, Ignorance is Not Bliss. There's no shame in not knowing. The shame lies in not finding out. The Russian blood leaks wisdom. They've had it right all along, but we've been too stubborn to admit it. America lies and American lies. We, the people, are lost behind the propaganda-shaped shadow. We remain in the dark from the truth. It's better to know the bus is coming than to have no chance of an escape. To run away from enlightenment will always be shameful. Fear of knowledge is un-American. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alize Davis from Miami Norland Senior High School, and the title of my poem is Good Night. As a byproduct of a misogynist country, I've always been afraid of chariots and war. But sometimes I realize that I carry my torch in the flames of my comrades. I am that shoulder you cry on. At least I wish I could be.
Society has created and dictated that women should be seen and not heard. Let our voices be muted in the hordes of men riding on horseback to save us, armor glistening in the sun, ready to stampede for us in the name of love. But since when were we trophies? Disney, why do I have to work to be a queen? Why can't I already be? Why do I have to marry a prince in order to be respected? Because ain't I a woman? You can say that I was made for man's rib, that without him I wouldn't live, but without me, where would he be? I am my own knight in shining armor. I will shut you down, bring your walls down like a frown, and that's destiny. We are the epitome of society's struggle. My long-term goal is not to be a mother, is not to be your wife. My life will not be dictated by your life. I will strip the female populace of her pearls. You will remember us for centuries. Our legacy will not be one of daintily held apologies and gently handled silent shouts into the dark of the night. We were born inside of our dreams. Our shadows will loom, and you will remember us, and our fights, you will remember us. The nights of the night, subliminally saving ourselves and saving our sisters in the process. We will unite like the clasps on the back of bra straps that trap our freedom and womanhood. Our breasts are simply a reality that we can carry more than our own weight. Our strength frightens our society like a subliminal gun with a hair fire trigger pointed to their heads. Russian roulette, they're afraid to let us go for fear of committing suicide, but instead we'll create verbal murder of the major first degree. All women are queens, and we deserve to implement our own decrees. Society, step off of your high horse and retire your pedestals and just let us women be.
Hello, I'm Najee Maxwell, and this is called Am I Next? So, if I leave my home today, then I just might be next. They see my skin and automatically my head got a next. If they just see my skin tone, they would not know that I am Kid Tone, empty-handed, alone, and I still won't make it home. Laying on the ground thinking, oh my God, what went wrong? Whole family now screaming, oh no, she's gone. So now they yelling just us. They only target just us. Remember when we asked for rights and they straight cussed us? So now my daddy lost another one. R.I.P. Lil DJ. Threw me in the gutter, no fun, and they do this each day. Trying to focus on my future, but the present about to kill me. Use this music as my doctor, so this music gonna heal me. Do you feel me? I don't need nothing to block my grind. Steady ducking, laying low from the bullets from behind. Will I ever make it? Early morning eggs and bacon. My dreams to reality. New people, new personalities. I finally done made the wait, and this is just the beginning. And I ain't stopping today or even after I'm winning. Lord, forgive me for sinning. It's not a beautiful feeling. Ain't it claiming they protect, but they the ones who be killing. And it's a shame when you can't put your trust in your leaders, and now everybody's hot like they've been sitting on heaters. Angry mobs and rallies from people all over the east and the valleys. If we do not take a stand today, then we might fall tomorrow, and I will not rest until there's no more pain and sorrow. Am I next?
Hello, my name's Alex, and this is my piece called 4-5. That 4-5 don't back down to nobody. And behind that trigger, with an itchy finger, is a kid ready to murk anybody. Coming from the slum, growing up with no mom, waking up every night hearing nothing but bombs, knowing in his head that's another body gone, another for God. Walking on his hell, he already been in cells, and cops grab him, he just like, I ain't finna tell. Then he starts losing his patience and start telling the tale. Then he's free just to keep on testing his sales. And now he's on the corner selling dope looking for 12. And now it's dawn, and he's on his way home. Until he spots the target, easy picking scissors all alone. Pulled out that 4-5, told that boy, run them pockets and blasted. Walking with his pockets heavy, mind heavier. He didn't know he could be a ruthless killer. Because you see, that 4-5 don't back down to nobody. And behind that trigger, with an itchy finger, is a kid ready to murk anybody. But why they had to be my dad? Minding his own business, he was all that I had. He was a good man, he never did nothing bad. But even when he gave you all that he had, you still had the audacity to blast, I hate you. Why'd you have to make him breathe his last? Just getting milk for the 2 children that he had. Now the only time I can see him is if I look back into the past. I just wish that 4-5 would have backed down for my dad. Thank you.
Hello, my name is William Gordon from Miami Norland Senior High, and my piece is called Dear Jamal. I was the king at hide and seek. But I counted up to light years to find you. Buzz, couldn't get to infinity. I got beyond it, so I let you hide in my memories. I toyed with this story just to make it a poem. Piece by piece, I'll put it together, but even as I write this, my paper bleeds, my stanzas die. My lines fill your sorrow. But my ballpoint pen can't play pickup games or RP pamphlets. I hope I give you justice, but I know I can't bring you back. I know I can't walk up to the stairway to heaven when my every step is sinful, but I would walk on a stairway of nooses just to hang with you again. Write the 10 Commandments on my soul. Rob a couple angels for the halos and robes. I've already been baptized in your mother's tears. What else am I supposed to do to get holy enough to see you? I'm sorry. You got caught. Ready or not, that bullet tagged you first and you froze. Freeze tags with ice, chalk, and body bags at home. You ran. And we never touched base again. So I let you hide in my memories as you told my dreams.
Hello, my name is Jasmine, Miami Northern Senior High, and I'm a Viking freedom writer. Let beauty not just be captured by the eyes, rather a heart to spy, a soul beside, with words with life, emotions to collide with the nature of humans whom attitudes are like a battle, like the hairs on my head to groom. But don't take it personal, I'm proud to be defined by my roots, to show me that beauty is grace, beauty is strength, beauty is a mother or father providing a space that's safe to say. Struggling with just 1 meal a day, but no lack of supply could dim her faith, because her beauty within is positivity, plus serenity, a joyful sound and melody that plays when harm times storm on heavy. Lord, she's a warrior. She cannot be rated by her face. Nah, Jamal, that girl just 7 with a 10 on her ace. We are the world, not a toy for your boy, not a coy intended for your joy. We speak the words of those who are not being able to be heard. We are more than appearance that will one day decay, rather yet a history and legacy of legendary queens and majesty you can never erase. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Adonis Valdez. I'm a Viking freedom writer from Miami Northern Senior High School, and this is my perfect piece. Paint prostitute street corners as yearning spirits burn mics to ashes. This is a movement plotting to make your earthquake, like city kids allowing the pounding of dominoes form their every step into hieroglyphics on cement. They see danger, animals, savages whose souls are destined for wicked. We are creative minds forced to think outside broken pipes and holes in walls. They see the struggle. My people, we see our history, independence, a frame of mind. This is what gives us a sophisticated outline. Their village is our kingdom. Their peasants are our pharaohs. Our actions are a protest of freedom. Speak your mind and trust your heart. Potheads roll up brushes that present the air with stress. Black Mona Lisas are creatively crafted with curves. Scalp mold sculptures that are weaved with weave and their ancestors' roots. Dreadnoughts, afros, high tops. We're all creatively crafted for kings and queens. We were crowned coming out of our mother's wombs. They're blinded to our steam jaws, biting apples. We may not be masters at speech, but our Mozarts still communicate with sweet melody, experience our Maya Angelos. I skate pens with across those lines. They view us as inferior, but we are superior. What are those aristocrats going to stop being prejudiced like I'm sitting on my couch? Let them attempt to smile when parents get laid off. Fathers find beauty in leaving their family sleeping in broke down cars. Brothers, you spraying cans on walls as bull wants for his emotions. Sister sings her soul as tears spread blessings over us. The youngest finds his voice lost in the drums. Sister sings her soul. Mother sings her soul. Sister sings her soul as tears spread blessings over us. Mother sings hymns calling on God's assistance. I have lost myself in sound waves, twisting knobs on consoles like unlocking combinations. We tend to focus on mastering our techniques in the midst of blood parties like night and domestic abuse pounding drywall. What you guys see as unpleasant, we, my people, see a work of art. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Andrew Ruby. I'm a Viking freedom writer. I go to Miami Northern Senior High, and the name of this poem is Ribs. Removal of the rib, turning bones into writing utensils. Love has always been a pain in my side that neither Advil nor aspirin could aspire to subside. I've never been a fan of the heart. Always beating on my chest like the organs of Tarzan. We've been exposed to the jungles of Cupid. I'm walking on the straight and arrow shot by him which led down your path. I've always been scared of being wrong because the points are too sharp. I'm still terrified of crossbows. Removal of the rib to help me breathe from injection of ballpoint to lungs. I find myself at your doorstep holding pens for roses, cutting my own veins to bleed ink into vases to keep the flowers alive. I hope a few drops spill onto these lines because I have an addiction to you. The FDA will not let you out of production, so I become a slave to the source. I've been strangled by love's grip to the point where vocal cords feel like nooses, yet for you, I'll keep gasping because you are like the last oxygen tank in the solar system. So out of this world, you give breath to Pluto. With a personality so bright, the sun reflects the flash of your smile. I will pull down every nebula just to find a star that can come close to your fluorescence. You make my heart levitate off the very earth. Love, that's love. Tarzan is discovering new galaxies. They say woman came from man's rib. That's why there's a sense of weakness in these bones until I write, and these stanzas turn osteoporosis to euphoria. Women are God's gift. Would you exist right now without the present? The sweetest fruit to be picked from the Garden of Eden, spiral backbone for stem, seeds for eyes to plant the vegetation of love back in my chest. Curves like cursive in her body to remind me of the number 8. And 8 turns sideways becomes infinity. So I believe that when we lie side by side in our tombs, our love will transcend eternity. Removal of the rib. I'm glad God went to the Arby's of my soul and ordered you poetry.
Hi, I'm Anna Sofia Padua, and my poem is called Child of the Trees. I know I live for a different kind of green. My layer of soil, some would call it dirt, unnourishing. My selective warmth is part of the way I'm wired, a lighthouse. I am a child of the trees with an undeveloped gift, one that burns as much as it fuels. It is the gift of being me, a message written in the smoke of a cleansing fire. There is gray around my eyes, wrapped around my thoughts. The purest of things are not pure at all.
Wow. You guys were amazing. And Laura was supposed to leave, and she's still sitting there because it was just amazing. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. Thank you, parents, for your support, for being here, for informing the lives of these wonderful kids. And thank you, Miss Simonette. Your kids, wow, let's have a moment. I hope that you enjoy whatever else the book fair has to offer. You know I don't tweet. Come say these things about hashtags and events. I'm old school, I admit it. I know, go.
Make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. If you took any pictures, videos, I saw a bunch of moms and dads over here with videos. Hashtag OIAF, as well as we're at Orange Island Arts, as well as Beating Woodward's information. Yeah, find us, tag us. You know, we want to see your pictures and all that stuff so we can kind of make a nice collage of today's event. Okay.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yes.